Hello, soul family of light. Welcome back to Smile Soul Power, where we offer enlightenment, encouragement, and empowerment. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new, please subscribe and like these. This is rather a new endeavor, a new phase of me providing the gifts that I have to share according to my soul's blueprint that are part of my life purpose or life's mission. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about life purpose and next step clarity. I actually have some workshops coming up, and I've done them before, actually. I have created a presentation and a guidebook to help people explore their life inside and out, and to get some clarity around life purpose and the next phase, because we've always been working toward our life purpose, whether we've done it consciously or not. Our puzzle pieces of our life always fit together, and we're always on our path as long as we're in alignment with our soul. And so I'm going to tell you about my journey so that maybe there's some, hints or clues or ideas or inspiration along the way that might help you with your journey. So when I first discovered my life's purpose, I had been a teacher in public education, and I had earned my degrees in elementary education and computer science education, and I had taught primarily at middle school. But I had an opportunity to move to France and work overseas for a corporation, a telecoms company, and they were doing training. So my master's degree actually prepared me for setting up a training center and creating training programs. And so basically I had been qualified and prepared to do just that based on my previous experience. So I did get the opportunity to go to France and work for a corporation. And at that time, I was reading spiritual books, which I always had. That's always been a passion of mine. And I was sitting there thinking about, well, I love public education because I love kids and I like having the summers off. And I love corporate education because, lots of adventures and very good pay and so forth. But my true passion is spirituality. So, what would feel good to me? And so I came up with the idea, oh, I will start a spiritual education company someday. And so that became my intention, to start a spiritual education company business. And so I wrote down some basic things that I would need, like things for an office. And at that time, we were using fax machines for communication between companies and so forth. And so I wrote down computer system, computer network, fax machine, the supplies and materials that I would need. And I set that intention aside and then went on with my life. Well, when I finished that job, I moved back to the States, and upon arrival, I bought those things that were on my list and I set up a home office. And I did not start the company at that time. I went back into public education. So that was my path at that time. So I did that for a while. And then, as Providence would have it, I had been reading a Neale Donald Walsch book in France, Conversations with God. And so I ended up going to an empowerment week in Ashland, Oregon, about almost exactly a year after I got back from France. And then I went there and my soul lit up. I loved the area. I loved the people I met. I felt like it was a soul reunion. And I happened to have my resume with me, and I actually got hired to go to work for Neale Donald Walsch at Greatest Visions, his for-profit company where he sold his books and so forth. And so my soul was just lit up about that opportunity. So I went home. I had a house. I put my house up for sale. I had a tenured teaching position. I quit that job, and I just took this giant leap of faith and moved to Oregon. And there I did work for Neil Donald Walsh for a while, and we created conscious commerce seminars. But in addition, I was creating my own seminars and my own spiritual workbooks and writing a lot. And so I didn't work for Neil that long. It was less than a year. And it turned out I went out on my own. And so I just followed my soul's path, and I had many different experiences. But I was writing the whole time. That was about 2000, 2001 when I started doing my own workshops and spiritual education and stuff like that. So I've been doing it for that long, over 20 years. And so I would create workshops. I created inner work guidebooks. I created presentations, and I was using my computer skills. And that's how all of our puzzle pieces fit together. I was, educated in using computer science education, and I was using it. And so I ended up going back into public education for a while. And, you know, I was a daily meditator. I turned into God. I prayed for God's will all the time. And so I was sort of mad at God, to tell you the truth. I've probably told the story before, but it's interesting because I went into meditation pouting like a spoiled child. And I said, God, what are you doing putting me in this public education? I want to teach spiritual education. So in my meditation, I got the download, and, yes, this is on my path. I needed to learn things from this experience, and, okay. So I meditated, and my meditations affected what I was learning about and how I taught my children. And I even had some things that I interjected into my lesson plans as a result of things I got direct downloads in my meditation. So somehow I was, guiding the students there, even though it was in a public education setting. I had that spiritual influence because that's me. That's who I am. And I always have been. And so, I had very rich experiences, and I loved the staff, and I loved the students, and I loved my job. And eventually that ended. And so later on, then I wrote more and more and more. I moved to California, or excuse me, I had moved to California, but then I had moved back, and that's where I was teaching in Oregon, in the state of Oregon. And then after that, I just got sort of odd jobs and just did a whole bunch of writing. And at the same time I was doing these odd jobs, I was creating spiritual education and curriculum and writing books and doing workshop presentations, simultaneously. So I was developing and creating things this whole way through. And I wrote up this project paper, and I did I taught business. And so I made a business plan and so forth. And I developed myself and my business and everything all along the way. And so I have this wealth of information in terms of workshops. I would rent venues, and I would do workshops there. I have a Alchemy of Light 12 event series that I did. And so I have this wealth of deliverables, I call them, whether they be books, presentations, and so forth. And in the meantime, I did publish my first book in 2005, and that was when I first moved back to Oregon. And before I started teaching, or no, I was teaching actually at that time as a substitute right before I got that full-time position. And then I ended up teaching at community college. And then I traveled around a little bit. I went to Colorado and also to Northern California, and ended up back in Oregon and lived in a cabin in the woods for a few years and wrote more and did spiritual groups and, did prayer groups and stuff with some great people who are, in service to the light and humanity. And so I got all those experiences, they accumulated. Well, then I moved to Florida because there was a family illness and I wanted to live closer to my mom, and I did. And so here I am in Florida, and now I have pretty much retired from teaching. I do a little bit of tutoring, but I'm like 95% focused on my life's mission. And so the formula that I used for my life, and I've learned different formulas to identify your life's purpose, writing a clear mission statement, which writing clear mission statements was part of my path. I ended up being on the mission statement committee. I was the head of the mission statement committee for the middle school in Florida that I worked at before I went to Oregon. And then I help people write their life mission. And there's like an exploratory activities that we do. And it's like magical, and you get your clear life mission and you try it on like you're trying on clothes, and that it fits perfectly, and you feel like full of joy and passion and enthusiasm because you're very clear about your life mission. And we review our life missions. We go through different phases and eras, and I explain some of mine along my path after I set my intention. And now I'm in a new phase. And so I'm a new phase in Florida, and this new phase in this new era, I believe is universal. I believe it's universal that we're entering new phases and we're stepping up to the plate, and we're going more public and, coming out with our gifts to the world. I feel like this is happening with a lot of people. And part of my life's mission is to help other people identify their life's mission. And so with that, I am going to present again my workshop, Life Purpose and Next Step Clarity. And so I'm going to be doing that in Sarasota, and I'm also going to be doing that on Zoom. And those opportunities, I'll put links to my websites. I have 3 websites, which is part of, building my business and what I'm about to do, what I am doing, I should say, because I'm very focused on developing all these things. So it's really cool because, the truth and our essential being, our soul seed, it's all in our heart. It was there from birth. We've always had our covenants with God. We've always carried our soul's blueprint. It's there, and it comes out. It comes out, and it comes to our mind. And a lot of it is like the seed underground, where things are just formulating and germinating, and then eventually it's time to sprout. And I made a video about It's Time to Sprout this year, so check that out too. So this is a sprouting time for many souls, star seeds, light workers, light warriors, people who are like way showers and spiritual leaders. We're being activated at the soul level. And that's really exciting and fun and joyful to be expressing our soul's highest potential and our living, to serve our life's mission. So if you came to this video, there's no accident, and hopefully there's going to be some, tidbits that you can use to stimulate your awareness and clarity about your life's purpose, your mission, and particularly the next step, which this phase that we're in, starting in 2023, is a new step. So I'm just going to add an extra story before I close, because I just love stories that really touch my heart. And I was reading in this book in my prayer meditation time that I have every morning. And it was about Jesus. And let me just tell you what I read and share this with you. And, just feel it in your heart, because I think that these kind of stories activates your soul's purpose and your mission. And if you just even listen to these stories and watch this video and then close your eyes and just sort of ask inside, what is my life's purpose? What is my next step? What do I need to know? What is my soul's blueprint? And it will come into your mind. So this book is called Prayer and Meditation, and this is just a little excerpt from it. So this was about Jesus. He had recalled for his followers a precious experience of his youth. And here's the quote. It was the age of 17 that one eventide I passed out in a certain field. It was moonless, and the stars shone their splendor above. I was alone with God, and around me the grass commingled with myriad daisy-like flowers whose upturned faces seemed to take hope from my gaze. And I, beholding them, saw them as the faces of men. And in my buoyancy of heart and blitheness of spirit, feeling the dew upon my feet, which were bare upon the grass, and smelling the odor and scent of joy in the floral release, I communed with God and sent my love to the flowers below my feet. I love this. Suddenly they were transformed, and I saw them no more as flowers, but as the faces of men. And I saw them as though they were shining with hope, and they became majestic, tiny but majestic. I mused and meditated upon them, and I spake unto my Father, unto my God, and unto your God. And I said, can I raise them up? Can I give them hope of a greater magnitude? And the Father spake unto me and said, come see ye. And suddenly I was transported beyond that field, and the cosmos was before me. And my feet were placed as upon a rock in outer space, and all around me I saw the stars that they did shine, worlds of hope and worlds without. And I felt as though I were a shepherd of planetary significance, and as though each face of the flowers that had been below me in the field were indeed now a planet, teeming with multitudes of people and requiring the hope and the release of God's energy that came through me then in that experience. I was transformed. I was electrified. And the story goes on. But the point is, it's like, we commune with God, and, we muse and we contemplate, and we just go to dimensions beyond dimensions, and, out to the cosmos with the stars, and we expand our mind, and we receive our soul's blueprint and that feeling, that oneness with our mission. And it's just a beautiful story. And we all have God within us. We all commune with God, and we have that inner touch. We have that inner heart. We have that inner truth of our soul's blueprint of our great Almighty Father God. And so I'm going to leave you now with these thoughts. And I hope that you take time to go within and commune with God yourself and ask questions about your life purpose, because it will come direct. Everything comes direct. And you have the power, and the world needs your gifts right now. So if you want to know anything more about my work, or about my life's purpose, or what I'm doing, you can visit my website at www.smile4love.com. Also michellemarieangel.com, and also Visionary Solutions 4 smile.org. Thank you. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much. I love you, and God bless you.